That's how you do it? Record. Record.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Drexel Freethought Society. Everyone, come uncomfortably close to me.
Come hither.
Yes, come hither.
Why do I always have to be near this one?
Because we all like David. Only get the hell out. Okay, we are the Drexel Freethought Society. Every week we have some kind of interesting discussion topic. We are the only secular organization at Drexel. Some other announcements were late, so I'm just going to jump right into it. Today's topic is bad advice.
Everyone gets bad advice.
I'm sure they do. But within lines of the new format, I think we'll just kind of go around and do just what our names are and just what's the worst advice you were ever given.
Oh, jeez.
And then we'll kind of segue into various other, I don't know, structures that give bad advice or organizations, and then we'll have rousing discussions on what is and is not bad advice. Anywho, Colby, go.
My name is Colby. Probably the worst advice I was ever given. That's a tricky one because there's a lot.
Can you pick one and go with it?
It's hard. I'm trying. Can we just do introductions for all the introductions first and then come back?
Dante Hitson, Vice President of Drexel Freethought Society.
Oxa. Oh, I thought we were just doing introductions.
Yeah, introductions first and then we do it.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think.
Just to give us
a chance to think.
Well,
I can't.
I have something, but
okay.
I'm Oxa. I'm the secretary, and I feel like people get bad advice when it comes to food, because just because you don't like something doesn't mean that somebody else will. So I usually don't take somebody else's advice unless they legitimately got sick off of something. Then I don't try it, but otherwise I try food no matter
I'll try anything twice.
Oh, I'm Izzy. I can't think of anything at the moment, so yeah.
My name is Richard. The worst advice that I've ever gotten was probably to get on my knees and pray to God because I didn't believe in God. Very strange.
You shouldn't do what other people tell you, especially when it comes to religion.
No, I didn't. I didn't do it because I said, why are you telling me this? I'm very confused, and then I got a coffee.
And then you got a coffee.
Probably.
Aren't you special?
Probably the worst advice I ever got was legitimately pretty much to just stop being myself and be other people, because being myself was bad. Who I was a bad person, and I should stop it.
I mean, I'm trying to think, because most of the people in my life are actually pretty good, role models. They're not
I think you still get. Now they are for me.
I mean, I don't know. Nothing is really sticking out. Wow, that was just really awful.
Well, have you ever had that situation where one of your friends tells you not to be a friend with someone else?
Maybe, yeah.
I hate those. When that other person could actually be really, really
Oh,
nice.
well, okay. Well, I kind of have a situation. When I was in high school, I had an abusive friendship, which people don't really think about that, but usually when they think of abusive relationships, they think dating. Mm-hmm. No, she was an abusive friend. She was completely verbally abusive to me. She made me feel like crap. And people were just I remember some of my friends were telling me, they're oh, she treats everyone like that, it's okay, she, everyone jokes around like that sometimes, she's just joking, finally, it took, one of my friends, she's she said this to me, and I can't believe it, so, I just don't want anything to do with it. I'm like, yeah, that's right, you shouldn't be nasty to other people, so, okay.
It's a tie. They're very general. One was a lie that I consider a lie, that's been drilled into my head for about 15 years, and that was to keep praying and you'll get your way. And that was just...
You're just yeah.
That was just horrible. Really, really bad advice. It was with good intention.
Of course you can.
Because sometimes, the worst things imaginable can be done with the best intentions. As Dr. Alan Grant said.
The road to hell is paved in good intentions?
In tying with that.
That's good, right there. Right there is the sweet spot.
No.
I like that.
I think that's everybody.
I like that too.
Okay, so tying in with that is when I had multiple guys tell me I should spend most of my time trying to get a girlfriend or chase women or get laid, anything around those lines. And I, like, for a small portion of my life, just stopped focusing on my whole nerdiness and try to get a girlfriend and all this stuff, and it just wound up being a horrendous disaster. So it is actually a tie between those two. One of them cost me my sanity, the other one cost me money. So I learned from that at an early age, and here I am today.
Which one cost you money?
Huh?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. Is it
Which
the
one
girl?
Oh, which is more expensive, God or women?
That's a whole podcast.
What's more expensive?
No,
God or
that
women?
would, that would be,
That's actually a tough
except
one.
it's ridiculously one-sided and terrible as well.
I just opened up a whole can of worms. But no, chasing women was what cost me more money, and chasing God is what caused me more sanity. Well, actually, the women caused me the sanity too, but it's not as bad.
It's a different kind of sanity.
Yeah, different kind of.
You're just getting the wrong people, man.
Jeez, that's a lot of wrong people.
Yeah, Dante, you're just like one of the most unlucky people in relationships I've ever seen.
Yeah.
No, actually, he has me beat. Well, no, we're tied.
Actually,
I
Edith
have-
on Downton Abbey.
You don't have bad luck when there's no luck. I don't have a record.
I pretty much got a hole in one.
Shut up.
You have a girlfriend?
Just kidding.
You have a girlfriend?
No, I had
Don't sound so
three.
surprised.
The first one was
He's never mentioned.
the first
a girl
one was
before.
like, yeah, we're not actually girlfriend, boyfriend. I'm like, what? You said that we were. Nope, we're not.
Oh wait, just to tie it in, have you ever had bad advice dealing with your girlfriends? Has anyone said you should do this to please her, and then you did it, and then it wound up being a disaster?
Yes. Never ask your friends for
Relationship advice is almost always bad.
Never,
See, I'm the one
ever
who gives
ask
the
your friends for
relationship
relationship
Same here.
advice.
Me
Ever.
too.
I do too.
That's why I say
Alright.
almost always bad.
One person at a time. Yes, Oxa.
Okay, I honestly, this is really sad, but like, I don't think I've been in that many I've never really been in a relationship, but I can give good advice just from what I see
I'm
in
the
other
same
people.
way, yeah.
Like from what I see in other people, like I'd be like, that is a horrible, horrible guy, or that is just a cute girl, and I'm just like, I can give advice, but I can't take my own advice. It's sad.
That's a very interesting aspect of it, everyone's like following. You always give the advice that you never follow, kind of thing.
Exactly. It's always like that.
Richard.
I'd like to say something.
Then speak.
Go ahead.
Yes. Like very early on in my relationship, I asked my friends for relationship advice. Yeah. It did not work. It just made everything so much worse. And this is the one piece of advice that I have to give to everyone else that might be good or bad, but probably good. Do not ask your friends for relationship advice. They do not know anything that is going on in your relationship. You might be wrong, they might be wrong, or you might be both wrong. Your friend is always going to side with you when you're going to be blinded by the fact that you're doing stuff wrong too.
But sometimes the friend can see more than you can.
Outside
Possibly.
Yeah, like I can give my friends advice because I know what they're like and what they're looking for. And if they're with a guy that just seems really wrong for them, I can say, dude, like, just step back and take a look. Is this what you really want?
Possibly.
See, I'm one of those kind of people that I've been through a grossly, actually not grossly large, a fair number of horrifying relationships. So when I give people advice, it's advice they should listen to.
If it's relevant to what you experienced, yes, you do.
You look kind of threatening with that gavel in your hand.
If David gives you the "oh God, do this" look, you do it in relationships. Period.
There's an
He's
"oh God,
right.
do this" look? I thought it was "oh God, don't do this" look.
No, this is the look. It's the real. It's the look of.
That's very similar to look like "don't do that. You look stupid and crazy."
At the same time, though, it's the look of I've been through this. Listen to me.
I didn't know I had that look.
Oh,
Now I
God, yeah,
remember
you
it.
do. Now you do.
The Dr. Phil syndrome.
I like being Dr. Phil.
No, I've never seen Dr. Phil.
Well, because
Not even once.
Well, first off, he's a complete clown. Okay, let's get that out of the way. But what I can't stand about it is that I'm the guy that's only been in very few relationships. Part of it is because
Ain't nobody got time for that.
part of it is due to my own will. There's a lot of points in time where I don't want relationships, and there are other times where it's because, well, it just so happens that I'm not being selected for. But in any case, I have tons of people, especially girls, ask me, my boyfriend is doing X, Y, Z, what should I do? And the thing is, I go, okay, I ask a ton of questions in a Socratic manner, and I go, okay, there's our problem, you should handle it this way. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm no Steve Harvey. Oh, wait, he's another quack. No, I'm no relationship guru. How about that? Okay, no relationship guru. But I can smell nonsense from a mile away. And much like David, I give the whole, you shouldn't do that type thing. But I just find it strange that people put so much trust in a person who's not only cynical, but has only been in very few relationships. And I'm kind of worried that, let's segue into what we're talking about, I'm kind of worried that I may give bad advice due to some of my jadedness, which I really don't want to do.
But that's the thing, like, it's only advice. The person can take it or ignore it.
That's actually, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
That's actually something important I wanted to bring up. When people think of advice, how people react to it is, I think, a very important part of it. Some people react to advice as, this is instructions. This is directions to get things done, rather than this is something to think about to form your own opinion.
Some people just don't have their own opinions.
No,
Which
that's true.
I've met a person who doesn't have their own opinions. I was just like, I was mind blown.
Yeah, it's like you literally can't make ideas for yourself.
I was mind blown.
Oh God.
I don't associate with those people.
Yes, you do.
I don't associate with them,
What?
but I have
You know
run
someone-
into
What do you
them.
mean they don't have opinions? Like,
He doesn't have.
You cannot
have
form
an
your own
opinion.
ideas. You can only regurgitate those things that have been dictated to you.
Mhm.
wow.
So about 40% of the country.
40? That's very low.
Yeah.
45.
I guess
about 50%.
I guess
it was 70.
I guess like
No,
another
it's like-
45% are people who can form their own opinions. They're just too damn lazy.
I'd like to add something. Well, sometimes you might be able to think that that person can't form their own opinions when they can't form their own opinions when they're in the heat of a moment. Let's just say that you're mad at your SO or whatever they call it, and you go over.
Wait, what?
Significant other.
Oh, okay.
Significant
Oh.
other. And then you go over your friend, and this friend has been your friends for like 9 years. And you're like, hey, so my SO is like really annoying me, and she or he is being a bitch. Sorry. And what do I do? And then your friend tells you to break up with her, or something like that. And you're like, well, I'm really angry at her, and I'm not gonna think of it anyway because I'm really angry at her for the moment. And then you break up with her, and then you figure out like, I don't know, 10 days later, oh, shoot, I made a mistake, and you can't, change it back or anything.
That's why advice is for you to think about, not just take at face value.
I actually do have. When I was thinking about it, in high school, my sophomore year, I got diagnosed with ADHD and anxiety. And before I got like officially diagnosed or whatever, like I was having a lot of troubles in school. And my dad would just say, he's like, oh, well, he's like, you don't have ADHD, you just need to like practice active listening and stuff. You just need to like, and then he would just be like, oh, and you don't have anxiety, you just need to like think happy thoughts, and it'll be okay. And like, I think it's just more like ignorance. It's not like he was trying to. Go ahead.
No, I was just about to finish your thought.
No. I pretty much did finish.
Okay.
It's just, yeah, like, it's not like he was trying to be bigoted or something like that. It's just, he was ignorant, he didn't know a whole lot about it.
He wasn't trying to be insensitive. He was just lost.
Yes. Precisely.
You see, that segues nicely into one of the big topics I wanted for this podcast.
Okay.
I guess kind of ignorance fueling advice. like different organizations or different institutions, perhaps.
PETA.
That try to give like large scale information that's completely grounded in nothing. PETA is actually a good example.
What was it? There was a thing that PETA had out encouraging veganism, and it was showing like animal parts, like pig's feet and like a meat packing plant and like a picture of meat, and it said, "This is beef." And below it showed like dismembered human body parts, and it was like, "This is human." The thing that people don't tell you is that there's no difference between meat and human flesh. It's genetically identical, and I'm just like, what? And then it's like, the reason you can't digest meat is because it's too close to human flesh, and it's like, but everything you just said is wrong.
We can't digest.
Well, I mean, it's for shock. I mean, I'll be right up front.
No, like not as well as we could if we were like cows or something, because they have like
Cows don't digest meat.
You know what I'm saying? Like, see, if we had 4 stomachs and all those enzymes and bacteria and stuff, we could.
No, we digest meat extremely well.
They
I
don't.
think it's cellular.
Yeah,
Yes,
they need
just silly.
You need more stomachs to digest not meat.
Yeah.
You need to design yourself to be able to digest vegetables.
I mean,
we're not good at that.
I'll be right up front. I'm a pescatarian, so
You only eat fish?
I eat fish in additional to. I don't eat red meat. I don't eat red meat.
You don't eat mammals.
Yeah.
You don't eat steak?
No, I do not.
Steak is a cut.
So I mean, but I also think that stuff like that is just ridiculous. Like they're just doing it for shock value. Like it's not. I don't know. It's not like helpful at all. Like if someone was genuinely interested in being a vegetarian, I would gladly help them. But at the same time, I think you need to like come to that conclusion yourself. Like, you can't just like, I don't know, the meat is murder thing. I don't know. Just okay. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. I feel like I'm being too,
Intrusive?
Talk more. Go.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So this is my whole idea of the whole don't eat meat because it looks like human flesh. That's an appeal to emotion, which is very good at marketing a certain ideology across a field of meat eaters. Of course, the thing is that our species has evolved as an omnivore species, and if you actually look at why we eat meat, either if it is going to be protein from a mammal or protein from a fish, you eat meat because it helps brain development. And they actually did a study where these people went to the wild and they lived like they were in the wild, except they could only eat fruits and vegetables that they gathered and that was brought to them. Afterwards, it showed them and they were sick and they were on the bed and they were all lying down and they were puking and everything else like that.
Well, that's,
Do you think
that
it's because they weren't used to it?
I was gonna say it's partially possible that it's just having living in the wild for several months. It may be telling, but that's a lot of factors to try to keep together.
Not particularly. You need a large number of fatty acids to keep your brain active in any capacity.
No, yes, that's true.
And you can't get them from just vegetables.
So being a vegan is bad advice? So would you say being a vegan is bad advice?
Yes.
Well, you need to eat vitamins. Well, I mean, if you eat vitamins and stuff,
Which aren't absorbed very efficiently.
No.
And they're not regulated by anyone.
Yeah, something like
so they're mostly made of sugar.
Something like 98% of like things that you intake like that just go directly through your system and go into the. That's why things like birth control pills, you only absorb like 5% of that estrogen. 95% of it goes into the water supply.
That's why we're having some weird-looking males these days.
Yeah, partially.
Girls hitting puberty sooner.
Yeah.
There's estrogen in the water.
Significant amounts of it. Oh, and in the meat that we eat, lots of it. But outside of all that, what was I lost my train of thought now. Like you were saying, it's completely unregulated. So if you say that something is 100% vitamin C, you could literally be there could be no vitamin C in that, like the tiniest bit. And if you check the pills in the bottle, one pill may be like 90% and another will be 3%. There's no regulation. There's no standards on nutritional supplements whatsoever.
Just ridiculous.
That's why if you want to have nutritional supplements, get them from your doctor.
Yeah, don't go
because
with
then they'll get them that are actually manufactured. Yes,
I feel like everyone hates me.
I'd also like to say this. Since I'm a huge geek, I wanted to look up cell biology, and I actually learned that if you do not get enough cholesterol in your diet, like a lot of people say, if you're going to go on a diet, stay away from quote-unquote bad cholesterol, or stay away from sugars. But the thing is that you need a regulated amount of all of those things. If you don't have enough cholesterol, you're not going to be able to survive. If you don't have enough sugar, you're never going to have any energy. That's the thing. If you're going to eat sugars or any other food material that actually breaks down into glycogen and glucose and everything else like that, you'll have sugar in your system, and that is supposed to be used for working out and stuff like that. That's why when you do not do anything and you just eat and gorge yourself, you're fat, because all of those cells that do not use the energy turn into adipose cells, which is basically fat.
This is why I think they should have treadmills with laptops attached so that I can actually do my work.
They have those.
They do.
They have attachments for like a computer. Your computer will only stay on while you're bicycling.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea. They should have those at the Drexel gym.
They actually have special ones for World of Warcraft. Your character won't move if you're not cycling.
But I feel
World
like
of Warcraft players will have the most fantastic calves of anyone in the world.
even partial abs, because
That's
check
true.
out those little muscles.
Their arms would be diminutive and useless.
Yeah.
But all they can do is click really fast.
They are trying.
I know.
Sometimes it's like a debate, like, do I go to the gym or do I do my homework? You know, like it's just, you know.
I think it's Google. I think their offices have desk treadmills, or treadmill desks.
I know of a good breeding ground for bad advice.
Go.
Doesn't matter if you are the employee or the customer, but at work is like the breeding ground for bad advice from either end. And I used to work at a pet store, and I'm pretty sure some of you know where this is going. I mean, let's put it this way. I do, like, one of my main missions in the pet store, even though it's not in my job description, is to prevent as much bad advice as possible.
Like, stop people from telling them, oh, this is a wonderful chocolate for dogs. They love this stuff.
Stuff like that. I mean, I've had people come in and ask me, oh, this is a nice dog. Do I have to train it? You know, and somebody who doesn't know any better would be like, oh, no, you don't have to train it, you know, because it was a dog that had a previous owner. But you should still try to condition the dog to your lifestyle, otherwise you and your friend are not going to get along. As far as like taking care of certain species of fish, you know, I did my best to train some of the newer guys that, hey, you shouldn't put the goldfish in a tropical tank. It just won't work out very well for the goldfish. Not to mention, you'll contaminate your tank with goldfish slime. A lot of people don't know that. So I'm pretty sure that you guys have, you know, had some sort of occupational hazards as far as bad advice is concerned.
I've never had a real job.
I work in Radio Shack on 40th Street.
40th Street.
I work with electronics, especially phones, in the middle of Center City, Philadelphia.
40th Street is not Center City.
40th Street is
West
west.
Philly.
It's actually still, sorry,
No, it's not.
It's West
University
Philly,
City.
but it's
not-
close enough.
in University City, Philadelphia. I get some winners, let's say.
Is my phone waterproof?
No, probably the most common and worst one I get is, yeah, I bought this Wi-Fi router and I'm not getting internet. Well, why is that? Well, what seems to be the problem, sir? Well, it's not working. I got plugged in and I'm not getting internet. Do you have an internet service provider? Well, no, that's why I got the router. And it's every day with that one.
Well,
Is it older population, or like I would hope it's an older population?
Most of the time, but not really. People in their 30s, 20s, 30s.
Yeah, I meant like 50s, 60s.
No, I'm saying people in their 20s and 30s as well, but a lot of older population as well.
So
just
bring this back to advice.
Well,
not stupid questions.
Well, working in I work with technology all day long, and it's very difficult in my field to give advice when people don't even know the questions to ask. Like when they're trying to hook one device up to, say, a TV. I don't know what kind of TV they have, what kind of ports their TV has, what kind of ports their device has. They just expect me to know. And I can't give them advice when I don't have any information.
That's true. Maybe that kind of, not really, if I'm going to roll with it, go into bad advice you've given.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
Or do you want to say that for the end?
No,
we
this is
can
probably a good place
Go
for
with
it.
it.
Trying to convince someone to try something like food-wise, I don't know, like, and then
Yeah.
they'd get like sick, and it's just like, God damn it, she's mad about that. They really didn't like it.
Okay.
I think really common one. Trying to get people to play video games. No, it can be
That's
really
never
weird.
bad advice.
Or trying to get someone
yeah.
to get a Facebook if they don't have a Facebook, or like an older adult or something.
Oh,
Like, be like,
Trying to get people. Okay.
Yeah.
So people that aren't good with technology or don't like it, trying to get. Okay, I can see
like
that.
you can
Trying to
do
get
that.
those people
Like,
up to date.
you can do it, Grandma.
And no, she can't.
My grandma
No,
doesn't
she
even know what a
can't.
computer is.
I can't honestly think of one.
My grandmother almost shouldn't know what a computer is.
It's
Be
not.
nice to your grandfolk.
It's
I love my
No, seriously,
grandmother.
my
She should
grandma-
not know what a computer is.
My grandma's like, what is that box thing that you're always clicking away on? I'm like, it's a computer.
I mean, I'm not saying that I don't give bad advice. It's just that, well, first off, when I give advice, most of the time it's not followed anyways. So I rarely know the outcome of the advice that I've given. In the few times that my advice was given, was taken into account, the results were usually not very catastrophic at all. So I actually...
Not very catastrophic at all.
Not very catastrophic at all. Because they will always be in a situation where a bad thing is going to happen anyways. So like, I'm about to break up. What should I do? Oh boy.
So
This is going to end well no matter what I say.
So you're
Hit
just
them
kind
with a
of
bag of wet sand and run really fast.
So no, it's not that I'm putting myself on a pedestal saying I give the best advice ever. It's just that I never know what really happens when I do give it.
because you just have no it's such an outlier, like you can't tell if your advice actually had an effect on the situation.
Something like that too. So it's very hard for me to gauge that. The only bad advice I can think of is kind of like what you guys are doing. Try to get somebody to try something new, and then they just say, I don't like it, and then that'd be the end of it. Nothing else bad happens. They just get disappointed.
I told somebody one time, I was just like, because they were having trouble with like a book report or something. I'm like, oh, just use SparkNotes. Everyone uses SparkNotes. Like, so it wasn't so much bad as like slightly unethical, but at the same time, yeah, everyone uses it.
And we are ethical here in Freethought Society.
Yes.
We try to be.
I've never used SparkNotes.
Except Richard.
I think it's silly. I actually learn more from reading the book, and I find that to be easier than trying to figure out from Spark.
I always read the book, but like, I use SparkNotes to just kind of
Like a review,
reveal.
So
as-
SparkNotes is bad advice.
It's bad advice if you haven't
If
read
you
the
haven't
book.
read the book, it's bad. Yeah.
If you've read the book and you just want to like clarify a few minute details, then SparkNotes helps.
It's like, what the heck did this mean? Oh.
But if your teacher's
What was
actually
the
trying to
ending?
get you to figure it out on your own or whatever, instead of just having the answer given to you, like, yeah, SparkNotes is bad.
Oh, no, wait, nope. I thought of the worst one. The worst
Bad
advice
advice.
I've ever given. It was actually a consistent thing. And now I am going on record here. I do not do this anymore, and I won't ever do this again.
Okay.
When I was in high school, I made a lot of money by doing people's papers and reports for them. A lot of money. I mean, like hundreds of dollars a week. I only charged $5 a paper. I just had hundreds of people having me do them. Literally dozens of people having me write papers. Spend more time writing other people's papers than my own.
Wasn't that like? Wouldn't the teacher catch on like if the tone of the paper?
I was really good.
Really?
I was really good, but that's not something to necessarily be proud of.
Colby the
That I
Or
was great
say
at-
on the internet.
It will be forever and ever and ever.
Now it's there forever.
and
Your
ever.
school is gonna find you. Once I show them this video.
Oh well. But yeah, that was probably the worst thing. I never did people's homework for them, just like reports. The way I viewed it back then was homework is a way of actually practicing. Homework is how you practice to get good at something. Tests and papers are just to see if you're good at it. So
Okay.
I didn't feel as bad because like I wouldn't do people's homework because that is stopping them from getting better at it. But writing a report for them was just getting them past the grade.
That's fascinating.
So Dante, want to lead us in bad advice from famous people?
Yeah.
Oh, Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey.
Who is Steve Harvey? I'm
He's
sorry.
he
I'm
is
sorry.
a famous comedian, stand-up comedian.
I mean, the name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he also does
What
a
TV
radio
show was he
show,
on?
the Steve Harvey Show.
He's
Also,
also
Kings
in-
of was the Kings of Comedy.
Kings of
that
Comedy.
thing?
He's also isn't he the
He's the host of Family
Family
Feud.
Feud?
now.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I was
That's-
Not to say that all of his advice is bad, but it seems as if his relationship advice centers around one quote-unquote species of guy. And that'll be the guy that's just trying to get laid. And what he's trying, he came out with a book.
Quite frankly,
Oh,
most
God.
people are that guy.
Yeah, and that's true. That's true. Came out with a book. What was it?
Think like a man.
Think Like a Man.
I think I've heard of
They
that.
moved-
He
they
is
made a movie of
is
it.
setting women up for failure with that book. Women and men are we're the same species, but still totally different animals. If you know what I'm saying. Okay, we're kind of wired generally.
You mean
we're
we're the
kinda
same
wired.
genus but different species?
No, I'm just being euphemistic. We're wired a certain way, and I mean he came up with advice such as, and this wouldn't be a very good thing for David here. Don't date atheists. Don't say anything to them. Like he flat out said that on TV. He was like, if you meet an atheist, don't say anything to him.
Run away.
Yeah,
don't say
basically
anything.
that was one of his advice,
Wow.
and I'm like,
The man is ingloriously.
Guys, let Dante finish.
Or you'll have guys like Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil, I'm going to flat out say it. He's a flat out feminist. Like, I don't think that he cares about guys. I mean, there's some instances where he'll take the guy's side, but for the most part, if the woman's crying, he suckers right into it and says, "Oh, well, you're a bad man, and you should have never done that to her," and she could have like hit him with a frying pan or whatever, but it's your fault, and you should have done that. And I'm like, no, you have to be objective, man. You have to be objective. But go ahead.
No, okay. I was gonna add on to this. If you give any advice that is focused on a certain group, like for example, men are this way, women are this way, don't take that advice because I'm so sick of hearing the argument from both of the sides. Oh, men don't get rights. Or women don't get rights. No, you're wrong. We both don't get rights. The thing is that you do not tell someone, oh, that woman's a bitch because she's thinking this certain way. No, you know why? The reason why women think that way is because women are wired to think more emotionally than men, and men are wired to think more bluntly. That's just how it is. All right, and if you're gonna say, "Oh, do this for the man," like Steve Harvey does, and Steve Harvey says men are bad and they only think this way, you're wrong.
Passion.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you just did the thing you said you don't like people doing.
Possibly.
Little bit.
I take everything back.
Itself.
Yeah.
That's
Right,
next
right.
week.
Oh,
It's men
really?
versus women.
Oh no. Not that again.
I will be prepared for this one.
So I had too many fights with feminists to even deal with that.
Oh, by the way, it's a fist fight.
I'll be the moderator.
I already lost.
Did you say mud wrestling?
No, let's do it in Jello.
Oh, wait,
next
or how
time.
about-
Jello, okay.
Or
These all taste
I'm gonna
good.
pick on.
Stop taunting me.
I'm gonna pick on. Let me see. There was somebody. They said something scientifically incorrect. I'm trying.
The entire GOP.
Somebody said something scientifically incorrect?
The entire GOP.
I did too earlier.
Well, Republicans. Go on, Republicans.
Republicans always give bad advice.
Pretty much the entire Republican in the House of Representatives wait, is it Senate and House or is it Congress and House?
It's Senate and House which make up the Congress.
That's it.
See.
I can never remember the exact triangle.
They're all evil.
But the things that have gone on record of people saying about how the world is supposed to work, like how physics and science is supposed to work, are just baffling and terrifying.
Yes, if it's a true rape, you won't get pregnant. If it's a true rape,
Oh, no,
the
not
body
the rape thing.
the body can shut down.
All of that,
Right.
but one's
What's
also
kind of bad
ones
is that I think there's a kind of fish that actually do that.
yeah.
Yes,
That's
because
unrelated. That's
fishes
unrelated.
rape each other all the time.
Yes.
Kind of do.
Have you seen nature?
I would hate to be
Ducks
a
have
male
genitals
anglerfish.
specifically designed around raping and anti-rape.
I'd hate to be a male anglerfish.
We already know that.
You barely have a brain.
You wouldn't hate it. You would just.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Just be like, I smell hormones. That way.
Oh wait, I can think of one. Mayor Bloomberg from New York. I think it was in the year 2009 or 10. His logic was, well, I mean, to some people they may agree with this, but me, I just find it baffling. He spent about, $100,000 on pamphlets and flyers to teach people how to shoot heroin safely. Because his logic was, well, people are going to do heroin anyway, so I might as well teach them how to do it right. Here's my question. Bloomberg, how do you know how to shoot heroin? First off.
They did research.
Internet?
Honestly,
And
internet.
secondly, your city is in shambles. Why are you making these people even more trouble?
At the same time, it's the same philosophy behind giving out free condoms. People are going to fuck up. They're going to do things wrong, and they're going to do things stupid.
Language.
Sorry. The least you can do is mitigate the repercussions for them,
I
so that
kinda-
society doesn't
I kinda agree with-
disintegrate.
I
But
have
it's
a question.
It's a band-aid
I have a
situation.
question.
Whatever.
Why do we have the because language policy? Because
We represent Drexel.
okay, because we are the Freethought Society, so I think
Yeah.
Freethought means
We represent Drexel.
uncensorship.
We represent Drexel.
He's
we're
just
not-
maintaining
so we're
a
not
professional.
allowed- We have to basically seem professional, which is totally why I'm filing my nails while talking.
Oh yeah.
This is what professionals do.
Well,
I mean, you can say
intimidating.
You can say
but-
damn and hell. Just don't say.
Yeah.
Hell's not a curse word.
Be
I could
It's
say
imaginary.
be respectful, basically.
Gotcha.
That's good advice.
Or is it? Actually, that's a good segue.
Hmm?
You should
Segue?
respect my beliefs.
That's horrible advice. Well,
No,
no. You should at least give a decent reason why. If you come up to me and say, "I believe in
Thank
this,"
you, Chaz. That's
and you
helpful.
should hold it in high regard.
No, there's
All-
a difference between holding it in high regard and just having respect for it. I have respect for your opinions. I have respect for your beliefs.
They're somewhat the same thing.
I don't. If they're ridiculous,
Okay.
then I don't.
Okay, but I'm saying like,
Respect is holding something in high regard.
That's what it's the definition of
Really?
respect.
Yes.
well, they need to really.
But
change that.
it's just that you take certain like for example, well, just real quick, like respecting my beliefs. People want you to notice it, pay attention to it, and don't say anything bad to it. Or when they say something like "have respect for the bear in the woods," that means don't
I'm
make it
higher
angry.
ranked than you.
No, you're taller.
Go ahead.
Well, to me, respecting something, it is actually that's what I'm doing when I'm shooting down people's ideas. Because to me, respect means treating it as if it is valuable. You know, treating it as if it's worth it. And to me, ideas that are worth it should be tested. If it's so weak and feeble that you have to hide it away from the truth, hide away from logic, and hide away from thought, it's not worth having. If it's too weak to stand up to that scrutiny, then it sucks as an idea.
Huzzah.
And that's how, that is an aspect of respect. I'm going to treat it as if it's worth it. And if it's worth it, I'm going to try to disprove it. And if I can't, then great. But if I can, then it's not worth it.
So what would be bad reasons for respecting someone's ideas? Because that would be the bad advice.
I have 2 minor announcements. Also, hello, Chaz. I know you're
Hi.
there.
Howdy, sir. Hello.